Joining us now, Kenya's fiscal deficit is projected to decline as the National Treasury officially launches a three-day public sector hearings for the 2022-2023 financial year and medium-term budget proposals. According to the National Treasury, the deficit will be financed by a net external financing of 2.7% of GDP and a net domestic financing of 3% of GDP. This as revenue collection in the 2022-2023 financial year is also projected to increase due to the performance of the ongoing tax reforms and reopening of the economy.
General elections next year fast approaching, the National Treasury is fast-tracking the budget-making process in time for parliamentary approval by March next year. While launching the public sector hearing for the 2022-2023 financial year and mid-term budget proposals, Treasury CS Ambassador Ukur Yatani revealed that Kenya's fiscal deficit is projected to decline from the 7.4% in the current financial year to 5.7% in the 2022-2023 financial year. According to Treasury, the budget gap will be financed with a net external financing of about 367.8 billion shillings, equivalent to 2.7% of GDP, and a net domestic financing of 408.1 billion shillings, equivalent to 3% of GDP as the government seeks to reduce borrowing.
We cannot continue to borrow or to pretend that we have the ability to manage. We have to cut our coat according to our size. We are going to rationalize, continue to rationalize government expenditures so that we live within the means. We shall focus on measures to expand the revenue base while at the same time rationalizing government expenditure under a very tight fiscal framework in order to contain the debt burden as well as corresponding debt servicing costs.
Revenue collection in the 2022-2023 financial year is projected at 17.5% of GDP, a figure that the ministry is attributing to the performance of the ongoing reforms in tax and revenue administration, reopening of the economy, and increased demands for commodities and services.
The last few months has been very good for us. The revenue collection has increased and we've always surpassed our target by over 5%, sometimes even 6%. This is very good, meaning the government now has more resources to spend and if possible even substitute some of the debts or even expand other social expenditure to enable our people a benefit accordingly.
The proposals focused on the Big Four agenda, post-COVID economic strategy, macroeconomic stability as envisioned in Vision 2030, and other regional economic frameworks. However, with the country still facing a lot of challenges including high cost of living due to high fuel and food prices, together with political uncertainty, Kenya's economic recovery is still vulnerable.
Unless we try to mitigate these challenges, they may easily erase the gains that have been made so far. It is therefore my hope that the sector working groups have had a realistic assessment of the economy and this budget will serve to revamp the livelihoods of our people without overburdening them.
The government has promised to monitor political developments and respond appropriately to safeguard the economy and livelihoods. The three-day public participation exercise seeks to gather comments and opinions from various stakeholders on the proposals before the ministry presents them to Parliament. For Metropole TV, I'm Vincent Odhiambo.